The fall of Rome in 476 AD wasn't a collapse, it was a quiet transition of power. After centuries of war, crisis, and instability, the Roman world of the 5th century stood divided in two. In the east, prosperity endured under emperors ruling from the shining city of Constantinople. In the west, exhaustion reigned. From their new capital at Ravenna, Western emperors struggled desperately to defend crumbling borders and a hollowed-out state. Decades of internal conflict, shrinking tax revenues, and relentless invasions had drained the Western Empire of its strength. Rome, itself once the unquestioned center of power, had declined in population and prestige. Yet, even in decay, the Eternal City retained immense symbolic authority. Its ancient monuments still loomed over the landscape.
We cannot allow this treachery against the Republic.
Treachery! It is you who undermine the Optimates, leveraging against the common man.
They built this place for us. Let us enjoy it. To the new lands.
As Roman authority weakened, waves of newcomers arrived from distant lands. Germanic warriors, who had once served Rome as federated allies, Theodoric now sought land, power, and permanence. For the people who had lived their entire lives under imperial rule, adapting to this new order was disorienting and often painful. For years, Germanic troops had fought Rome's wars as expendable soldiers, promised land or payment in return for their service. Those promises went unfulfilled. Civil wars drained the treasury, and the Western government simply could not pay what it owed. On September 4th, for 76 AD, Odoacer marched into Ravenna. The city fell, and the teenage Emperor Romulus Augustus was deposed. To outside observers, it appeared to be just another barbarian humiliation, no different from the sackings Rome had already endured earlier in the century. But this moment was different. From Ravenna, Odoacer moved swiftly to legitimize his rule. He persuaded the Roman Senate to send the imperial regalia westward to Constantinople, declaring that Italy no longer required its own emperor. The message was unmistakable. The age of Western emperors was over. Eastern Emperor Zeno, preoccupied with rebellions and an empty treasury, accepted the gesture. He formally recognized Odoacer as king of Italy and elevated him to the rank of patrician. In return, Odoacer governed Italy in the emperor's name, transforming rebellion into lawful authority.
Esteemed magistrate, the evidence is clear. The defendant has violated the public trust and must be held accountable for these funds.
Roman administration continued almost intact. The Senate still functioned in Rome. Taxes were collected by familiar bureaucrats. Courts enforced Roman law. Even the coinage bore the Senate's authority once more. Soldiers both Roman and Germanic received pay, rations, and land. According to later historians, 1/3 of Italian estates were redistributed to barbarian veterans, securing their loyalty while preserving the rest of the system. To the ordinary citizen, life went on. Farmers tilled their fields, merchants paid their dues. City dwellers bought bread, paid rent, and attended church. Though the emperor was gone, the machinery of the Roman state still turned creaking, worn, but functional. Yet this was no golden age. Cities like Rome, Milan, and Ravenna survived only as shadows of their former selves. Trade networks had collapsed. Public works crumbled, infrastructure decayed. And beneath the surface calm, tensions simmered. Some Roman elites adapted, serving at Odoacer's court. Others resisted. Rebellions flared in 477 and 478, led by Roman commanders unwilling to accept barbarian rule. Each was swiftly crushed. Religion, too, added strain. Odoacer and his Germanic followers adhered to Arian Christianity, a doctrine condemned as heresy by the Roman Church. Yet surprisingly, coexistence prevailed. Odoacer respected Roman bishops, granted tax relief at their request, and largely avoided religious persecution. Meanwhile, the Roman army did not disappear. Border troops and field armies were absorbed into Odoacer's forces. Garrisons remained active. Soldiers guarded Alpine passes, crushed revolts, and campaigned beyond Italy's borders. One rival loomed larger than all others: Julius Nepos, the last legitimate Western emperor, ruling from Dalmatia with Eastern recognition. His assassination in 480 marked the true end of imperial authority in the West. Odoacer seized Dalmatia soon after, eliminating the final remnant of Western imperial rule. But even as the West fell silent, the East endured. Emperor Zeno ruled uneasily from Constantinople, juggling revolts, invasions, and political instability. Though he had accepted Odoacer's rule, he grew increasingly wary of the Italian king's independence and expansion. The solution came in the form of another threat: the Ostrogoths. In 488, Zeno offered their ambitious leader, Theodoric, a prize Italy itself. With imperial blessing, Theodoric led tens of thousands of warriors across the Alps and into the heart of the old empire.
I will restore order. Send word to the legions. We march at dawn. Theodoric the Great. A commanding presence, with his Gothic army behind him.
The war that followed was brutal and prolonged. Battles raged across northern Italy. Cities changed hands. Betrayals and shifting alliances prolonged the conflict. At last, Ravenna was besieged for nearly 3 years, protected by marshes and supplied by the sea. In 493, a peace was negotiated. 10 days later, at a banquet meant to seal the agreement, Theodoric murdered Odoacer with his own hands. Italy had a new ruler.
We cannot agree to this division. The city remains under my protection.
Your protection has failed. Theodoric demands equal standing, or we leave now.
Die, Odoacer! My king, you are avenged. Secure the doors.
For decades afterward, Theodoric's kingdom brought stability to the Roman heartland. Yet, even that order would eventually unravel, paving the way for Emperor Justinian's reconquest during the Gothic Wars. In the end, Rome did not fall in a final blaze of glory. There was no thunderous collapse, no single catastrophic moment. Instead, the Eternal City slipped quietly from one ruler's hands to another, its empire gone, but its legacy enduring.